Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, Big, Bold, Profitable Adventures Ahead with Royal Caribbean International. My name is Cara Kurtz, and I am the Business Development Coordinator here at ASTA, and I will also be the organizer for today's presentation. We are very happy to welcome today's presenter, Ms. Lori Bone is yours. And Lori, I am so sorry. I know I have butchered your last name, but she will be joined today by our lovely Royal Caribbean International Host Agency Manager, Shanae Murray. As part of the industry's largest sales organization, Lori, the AVP of National Accounts, oversees trade association partnerships and the cruise line's relationship with North America's top travel advisors, agencies, and network. She and her team manage the sales and marketing initiatives on these accounts, driving all original approach to achieve their success. With years of management experience in the cruise industry, Lori brings her broad, perspective and varied expertise in working with all business channels. She most recently was the Director of Trade Sales and National Training, a position instrumental in executing Royal Caribbean's award-winning trade strategy. In this role, Lori led the operations of business development services as well as national training for the company's sales force and travel partnerships in the U.S. and Canada. She previously spent 15 years at Holland America Line and Seabourn, serving as their Director of National Accounts. And Lori also is known for working in the field as her time as a sales manager with Celebrity Cruise Lines. Now that we know a little bit more about Lori, before we get started, I'd like to point out a few important features on your screen that will allow you to interact with us via the web today. We'll be answering all of your questions at the end of this presentation. To ask a question, you will be using your GoToWebinar pane. Near the bottom of this pane, there is an area that says Questions. If you click the arrow next to where it says Questions, this will open up a window pane that you'll be using to communicate with me. If you're having trouble hearing this presentation, please make sure that your speakers are turned all the way up. And if you've called in, please try hanging up and dialing back in again. You can send me any technical questions via this questions pane, and I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. Please note that all audience members are muted. We certainly want to hear from you all, but with so many people on the call, background noise would prove to be prohibitive, and we want to ensure that everyone can hear the entire presentation. Remember, one of today's lucky webinar attendees will win a $100 Visa gift card, courtesy of ASTA, and all of you will also be getting an exclusive sneak peek into our ASTA exclusive coupon codes that Royal Caribbean will be offering us. Finally, please remember that this webinar is being recorded and will be available for your on-demand viewing at asta.org by the end of this week. Now, without further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce Lori. And again, Lori, I'm so sorry about the last name.
Thank you, Cara. Well, just so you feel better, it took me over a year after I got married to even begin to enunciate my name correctly. So it's a tough one. It's French, but thank you for trying. Most people don't even make an attempt. But listen, y'all, we are so happy to be here today, Shanae and I, and there's so much happening at Royal Caribbean, so many ways to be profitable, so much to be celebrating, and as you can see by the title slide, we have something big we're celebrating this year, and that's our birthday. We just turned 50, and actually it's November 7th is the actual anniversary date, and we're so excited because it's been an amazing 50 years. But before I dive into the actual formal part of the presentation, I kind of wanted to just address something that I know has been really heavy on everyone's mind, and just kind of touch on the recovery process from Dorian. And you know, the Bahamas is alive and kicking. It's certainly open for business. While we know some of the areas have been hard hit, what we're doing as a company is not only donating $1 million+ we actually have a campaign. You can see where you can go to make a donation, and we're matching up to $500,000 in addition to the $1 million that we've donated. But we're also doing something even what I think is more heartfelt, and that is on every single sailing that is sailing in the waters of the Bahamas, we're making an alternate stop on what normally would be a sea day, and we are actually preparing meals. Usually it's approximately 20,000 hot meals a day for the evacuees and for the people that are left homeless and certainly that don't have a place for food and cover and and we're making that as just something we know we can do. We know how to mass produce food and do it beautifully, and we're doing it to serve the playground in which we like to play, or in this case, like to sail. So it's really important to us. I just wanted to kind of let you know that's what's happening. All the ships are up and running. All of our ports of call are back in action, and we're trying to do our part to really help those that have really been hurt by the hurricane. So with that said, back to talking a little bit about Royal Caribbean history. And, you know, the first 10 years, I think, were interesting and kind of a little bit humbling. You know, with just 3 ships, with the Song of Norway, the Nordic Prince, and the Sun Viking, gosh, in the early 70s, we had even things like the signature Viking Crown Lounge, and today we still boast many of those same features. If you look at the port of Miami here, my gosh, it looks completely different today. But I like to say that we've come a very long way. And in just 50 years, when you take a look at the things we've accomplished as a company, it's really mind-boggling to me. The largest fleet in the industry with 26 ships and counting, certainly the largest individual cruise brand that exists today, the largest ships in the world, and many of what I call only on Royal Caribbean and first at sea. Things like our Central Park and boardwalk areas and balconies, the Aqua Theater that's so beautiful that you see shown here. Things like our 2-story loft suites and our zip line that zip lines through the ship. 20-plus dining concepts on our bigger ships. Not just Broadway productions and vignettes, but full Broadway, spectacular shows that are award-winning, that are really enjoyed by many of our clients, to name just a few. And even our Ultimate Family Suite that now sells for, gosh, $50,000 to $80,000 a week. So I don't know about y'all, but I think that's a great way to make your sales for the month. But we're really proud of being original and authentic and exciting. I think excitement's really in our DNA, don't you, Sinead?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's such an exciting brand. And it's all about the innovation of our ships. And it really is what keeps Royal Caribbean unique and kind of setting the standard, we like to think, in the industry. So when it comes to our innovative ships, we are not slowing down for a heartbeat when it comes to the ships that we're adding. In 2020, next year, we'll have the Odyssey of the Seas, which is a Quantum class ship. We'll have the Oasis 5, yet to be named. We'll have an Icon class, the first in its series of 3. We will have the Oasis 6, gosh, 6 Oasis class ships, I can't even imagine. We need your help, y'all. And then, of course, another Icon class ship, the second in the series, and then a 3rd Icon class ship. So I don't know about you, but when you look at this slide, I think of job security for you all, our fabulous travel advisors and partners in selling travel and building people's dreams. And I think, Sinead, we have some job security here too if we do our job well. So we need you all now more than ever because the fleet is already the largest and now we're growing even more. And there's a lot to be said for the new ships, but what are we doing with the existing fleet? Well, we have a program called Royal Amplified, and by now you have probably heard a little bit about it, but just to give you an idea of where we got motivated to do this. We looked at our ships and we knew that every ship gets renovations, but we wanted to focus on areas through research that our clients told us matter to them. Things like an iconic pool deck and attraction, bars and nightlife, and dining experiences. These are important to vacationers whether they're on land or on a ship. And so our answer to that was $1 billion investment, adding to 10 of our existing fleet what we call a Royal Amplified program. Now, the Independence and Mariner of the Seas and Navigator of the Seas have already been done. We'll have a quick peek at what those ships look like today. Voyager of the Seas will go in October, and then in November, Oasis of the Seas. Now, Oasis of the Seas just turned 10, and we're going to be adding a lot of spectacular new bells and whistles to her to make her look and feel very much like Symphony and Harmony of the Seas. And then, of course, early next year, in March, the Freedom of the Seas will get her renovation. And then in May, the Allure of the Seas. So where and how can you sell these ships? Well, the next 2 exciting ships that are going to get amplified are the Oasis, as I mentioned, and the Allure. And those ships have some great ports of call. You can see that they're going to be, the Oasis of the Seas will sail after her amplification in Miami from November 19 until spring of 2020. And that's when she'll relocate to New York. So for any of you all on the East Coast, the Oasis of the Seas, Royal Amplified, is coming your way as of next May. If you haven't done so already, you better get those groups blocked. You better talk to your Pied Pipers and make sure your clients know that the largest ships in the world will now be sailing out of our Cape Liberty port in Bayonne. And we're really excited about that. And you know, Shanae, what's really exciting too for me is the Allure of the Seas will get her amplification next spring before she does her Europe itineraries. So she'll spend the entire summer next summer in Europe, all freshly amplified, and then she will come back into Miami in November of 2020. So what are some of the things you're going to see? Well, of course, our family activities are going to be amped up. Our nightlife with Music Hall, which if any of you have been on the Quantum Class ships, you know it's a great music venue. We're going to have great iconic pool areas, which we know is important, and even Portside Barbecue, a new dining restaurant. And here's a great shot of all the different things that are going to be added to both the Oasis and Allure. And you can see it's pretty plentiful. They'll have the Ultimate Abyss, the Perfect Storm water slide, Splash Away Bay for the kids, the Adventure Ocean upgrades, which we're going to really start taking and making great changes to. We already have a great kids program and teen program, but it's going to get even better. We'll have laser tag, the escape room, puzzle break rooms, the music hall, spotlight karaoke, which karaoke, I don't know why, I certainly can't sing, but people love to get up there and belt it out, and we're going to give them a great new venue to do that in. The Lime and Coconut is a 3-story pool, bar, and snacking area. And then Playmakers Sports Grill, I don't know about y'all, but with football season that just started, I am super happy to know that Playmakers will allow me to see all of my NFL football games. Bionic Bar, Giovanni's Kitchen and Wine Bar, and of course Giovanni's is already on the Oasis of the Seas. Portside Barbecue, A Loco Fresh, which is our Mexican, and even Sugar Beach. So I know that's a lot, but I wanted to read through because I want you all to realize this is everything that's on Symphony and Harmony and even more. So keep that in mind as you're selling the Oasis and Allure after they're amplified. Now, Freedom of the Seas is getting her amplification next March, and we're excited because this ship is our San Juan ship. And y'all may know when you're sailing out of San Juan, you really get the best of the best itineraries in the Caribbean. It goes deep south, and you really see some beautiful ports that you just can't access unless you start down in the Caribbean already. So what's the Freedom of the Seas going to look like? Well, I'm excited to share with you things like the Perfect Storm, Laser Tag, the Teen Spaces, and even Adventure Ocean is all going to be really amped up and made even more exciting than it currently exists as today. And you're going to see the Lime and Coconut, which is that 3-story pool venue, as well as the Splash Away Bay and great kids areas. It's such a fun upgrade. And then, of course, if you're like me, you focus on dining, and I know, Shanae, you like your dining too. I love Giovanni's Kitchen. You're going to have the Playmakers Sports Bar where you can do all-you-can-eat wings and even get a prize if you can finish all the wings that they serve. Azumi, hibachi, and sushi, and A Loco Fresh. And if you know one thing about me, you know I love my Mexican food. And so I don't have the title of the Bean Queen for nothing. So certainly, Shanae's really laughing right now at me. Shanae, what's your favorite restaurant?
Honestly, I love Giovanni's. The last delicious pasta meal I had was at Giovanni's on the Allure, and it was so delicious.
Yep.
My favorite.
Well, I think everybody has a favorite. It's hard for me to choose. So either way, we're going to have some new exciting favorites to add into what you may already know and love as a Royal Caribbean loyalist. Now, we know Navigator of the Seas has already made its beautiful debut. Things like the Blaster and Riptide water slides. The Blaster is the longest water slide at sea. It's on a 2-person, you can see it here, a 2-person kind of inner tube, so to speak. I'm describing that horribly, but I know y'all can see it right there. Of course, Lime and Coconut pool venue, Playmakers, and Hooked Seafood. Beautiful northeast shellfish and mussels and clams, and oh my gosh, the raw oysters. Not for everybody, but I certainly love them. Mariner of the Seas, same thing. Mariner has been out for quite some time now and really been wowing our guests. But you can see here with the Sky Pad and the Perfect Storm water slide, things like our Bamboo Room, which is a really fun, kitschy craft cocktail bar, all can be enjoyed on that ship. And Independence of the Seas. Now, what's exciting about that is Independence of the Seas used to spend a lot more time in Europe, half the year, but now we're going to have her year-round, and she'll be sailing out of Fort Lauderdale. So be watching for the Independence of the Seas to be staying in North America year-round, and she has, again, all the bells and whistles, beautiful ship, and great, great sales opportunities for y'all. Now, I'm excited to tell you that I'm going to go through every single itinerary by ship that we have. Are y'all ready? Now, I know you're muted, but Shanae's laughing at me because I would never do that to you. I know Kara would cut me off and bring out the hook. But what I am going to do is give you some really important highlights as we move into the new selling year. And I was going to dive straight into itineraries, but I know what happens. Everybody's panicked. They get their pens out or pencils. They're screenshotting this, or taking shots of the screen with your cameras. Don't worry about it. If you go to loyaltyyoualways.com/deployment, you're going to be able to just print and download the itineraries and all the details of what I'm going to show you on the next few slides. So instead of worrying about trying to take notes, just make sure if you don't already have it bookmarked, you have to have Loyalty Always bookmarked. I'm there every single day. Shanae, you?
Absolutely.
It's a great resource. It's all our deployment, all our news stories, all our current promotions. Everything can be found there. You need no access code or passwords to get in. And again, I want you to just listen and think about where your clients are going to go next when you sell the next Royal Caribbean cruise. And here we go. Let's drop right into the Oasis class takeover. So we know we love our 4 Oasis class ships. We know that as of spring of next year, they're all going to be upgraded. And oh my gosh, the itineraries and ports that they're going to visit. So in Miami, you have, of course, the Oasis of the Seas and, of course, the Allure of the Seas out of Fort Lauderdale as of November 19th. Harmony and Symphony year-round, both in Miami with the Symphony and Port Canaveral with the Harmony. So that's something you don't have to worry about any kind of moving parts. But then in May of next year, remember, Oasis is going to the Northeast, and Allure will be in Europe because she has to get her amplification and then sail the summer in Europe, as all fine ladies do. And then, of course, the Oasis of the Seas will be back in Fort Lauderdale, and the Allure will be in Miami. Now, just to show you how fun it is, first it's going to spend the summer there. Then, I love this animation, here's where they'll end up next fall. So I would love to see that again, but I won't bore you with that. I just think it's really fun. And then, of course, let's have a look at, I know this is a lot of information here, but I wanted to leave this slide because we made so many changes when we were making our adjustments to not visiting Cuba anymore. And I just wanted to kind of point out where we're going to be and which itineraries have Coco Key as a standard. So again, don't worry about taking notes. All this can be found on that deployment flyer. But Independence, remember, I wanted to remind you that it's going to be staying in North America. Enchantment out of Galveston, which isn't something that we've always had. Adventure out of Galveston, and even Brilliance out of Tampa. So these are things to keep in mind for your clientele that fit those itineraries. Now, another one that I love with the animation. If you haven't realized by now, Royal Caribbean is amping up its short Caribbean sailings. And why, you may ask? We know we want to attract new to cruise clients, and we know that you want to attract new to cruise clients as well. And one of the ways to do that is to create short Caribbean cruises, because we know statistically it is the on-ramp to cruising. A client that maybe, whether it's a millennial or a young family traveling, or even, quite frankly, someone of any age that's never tried cruising, they are much more likely to commit to a 3 or 4 night or even a 5-night cruise than they are a full 7-day cruise, because they are worried about the unknowns, right? So we know that it's the on-ramp, and that is a big reason why, from a strategy perspective, as our company has evolved, that we have focused on the short Caribbean cruises. But unlike a lot of our friendly competitors, instead of putting cruise ships that are maybe a little more well-seasoned, maybe they've been sailing a few more years than some of their newer ships, it seems like those type of ships end up in the short Caribbean, but not at Royal Caribbean. At Royal Caribbean, we're putting our best hardware. We're putting ships that have had hundreds of millions of dollars, actually approximately $200 million per ship. And then we're bringing you to Coco Key, which is a whole nother attraction, which we'll talk about in a moment, and really giving them a spectacular first experience so that they become an annuity to you, their fabulous travel advisor, and to us as our past guests. So, New Orleans. Now, I don't know about y'all, but if you've been to New Orleans, you know it is an amazing place to visit, and we will, as of January, be sailing with the Majesty of the Seas out of New Orleans, is how they like to say it when you're a local. And if you haven't been, it's a great place to visit. There's great sightseeing, great history in New Orleans. And of course, you will see that the Majesty will be there starting 7-night cruises in January through till April. And they'll do the Western Caribbean. And then, of course, you can see here, Empress will also be sailing out of Miami. And these two ships we've highlighted because, again, these were formerly Cuba ships. So let's talk for a minute about Alaska. Now, Alaska is amazing, and we have certainly made our impression there. And we have 3 ships, that's right, 3 ships next year sailing in Alaska. Now, that's a first. Serenade used to sail, but she is coming back to Alaska by popular demand, we like to say. And what I love about it is for any of you that have clients that live in Vancouver or in the Western Canada area, that's a very popular cruise port to sail in and out of. Also great pre and post city, by the way, one of my favorite cities to visit. And of course, then we have the Ovation of the Seas, which I'll talk about in just a moment in a little more detail, but she really is not only just the largest ship sailing the Alaskan waters, but I genuinely think, and Sinead, keep me real, the most exciting ship.
Absolutely.
And
the North Star.
North Star, to name a few things. And the reason why, it's not us saying this, by the way, this is some feedback we've had from our clients this summer because she has had her inaugural season, the Ovation, this summer in Alaska. So we'll talk about that in just a moment. But let's not forget the Radiance of the Seas. And the Radiance, of course, is doing the north and southbound glacier discovery cruises. And it's 7 nights north and then 7 nights south between Seward and Vancouver. And I will tell you, a great way to really get into Alaska and see Alaska. And honestly, if you don't offer cruise tours to your clients that are looking at Alaska and want a true Alaskan experience, you're really missing the boat, no pun intended. Because most people think when they go to Alaska that they're going to see the big 5 wildlife and things like the bears, the elk, the moose. They think they're going to see the glaciers, which you can do on a cruise, but you're going to see so much more. Mount McKinley and Denali National Park. This is all found by getting off the ship and actually taking some time on land. And so I encourage you, not only because their experience will be enhanced, but also you will get thanked at the end, because I will tell you your commission will go up, your clients will thank you, and it's a great, great experience. So cruise tours, always offer it out. You never know what clients might be interested. You'd be surprised. Now, we started to hint about the Ovation of the Seas. And Sinead, you said the North Star is your favorite. You can see it shown here. It looks like a big kind of arm with a sphere on it. Well, that is the North Star. It rises hundreds of feet above the ship, and you can actually go and do the glaciers. It can run while we're sailing, and you can even get married in it like one of our colleagues did. So that's just one of the many things that you'll love about it. One of the things I love is that it has bionic bar. It has the Seaplex, which is this huge indoor space. Why does that matter? Well, when you're sailing with your family and you're in Alaska, most of the ships sailing Alaska are ships that sail in the Caribbean in the winter months. Well, the problem is when you take it up to Alaska, it can be very, very cold. It can be a bit rainy, and in climate most of the time, if not all of the time. I was just on an Alaska cruise. I did a northbound glacier discovery cruise on the Radiance, and it rained 6 out of the 7 days. We had one nice day, but the great news is the day that we were sunny was when we were in the glaciers. So it was a wonderful, wonderful viewing opportunity, but you need indoor spaces. So kids are sitting there on our friendly competitors, oftentimes with nowhere to go to stay warm and play. But on the Ovation, with the Seaplex, it's a 2-story indoor space. It's got basketball, circus school, that's right, circus school, bumper cars. It has a DJ booth where the DJ booth goes over the middle of the floor from the 2nd level, and you can spin records, or the DJ spins them. But a really fun space to have fun and be a kid, and for the kids at heart. But we also have the solarium area, and we still have the flow rider for those that have a wetsuit or what I like to call really thick skin. But anyway, great, great opportunities on the Ovation. And Glacier Bay is back. That's right. We actually will have some sailings into Glacier Bay National Park, and something that's so beautiful. It's really a park like none other, and you'll see not only the wildlife, but beautiful calving, something that I really think speaks to everyone. Now, Serenade of the Seas, I mentioned, is coming back to Alaska. She's spent many years in Alaska, but she hasn't been there since 2009. So for any loyalists, this is a great opportunity to get them back on our ship. And she has a lot of beautiful spaces and really similar to the Radiance of the Seas. So I don't know about y'all, but this is the time, if you haven't done so already, you should be blocking your group space, talking to your families, because we've had a lot of Serenade of the Seas with free thirds and fourths. And keep me real, Shanae, is it still free thirds and fourths, or did we pull back off that promotion? We'll double check for you, but either way, it's had some really great opportunities and great value in pricing. So this is the time to get those families booked where they need and know and want to be spaced and placed in certain spaces. So I just wanted to do a quick slide to remind you. Remember, all this is found on our deployment flyer, but just to kind of give you a snapshot for those of you that sell a lot out of the Northeast, the Oasis of the Seas will sail out of Cape Liberty, and she'll be doing 7 and 8 night cruises to the Caribbean with Perfect Day. She'll have 6-night cruises to Canada, New England. Anthem will spend the summer for the first time in 2020 in Europe, and then come on back to do the the Caribbean and Southern Caribbean cruises and Bahama cruises. Vision of the Seas will be out of Cape Liberty doing Caribbean and Europe in the summer, but then she'll come back in the fall to do 10-night fall foliage, and that's a limited season, so make sure they get that booked sooner versus later, especially for those clients that like to do groups. And then, of course, the Adventure will be there doing 9-day Canada, New England cruises and 5- and 9-night Bermuda cruises. So lots of exciting things out of the Northeast. And last but not least, thank you. Last but not least, we have the Allure of the Seas. We know she's getting her amplification. You saw all the bells and whistles that she'll have, and she'll spend her summer in Europe right after her amplification process. And I love, love, love these itineraries between Barcelona, because things like Spain and Provence and France. My name is French. You can imagine I love going to France, and I'm particularly fond of Provence. And I don't know if there's any rosé drinkers out there, but if you like your rosé, there's none better than from the Provence area. Pisa in Italy, Rome, of course, and Naples rounds out the perfect European Mediterranean cruise. So really excited about the Allure. We've been doing really well in our sales with Allure and in Europe overall. So again, if your clients are on the fence about booking now, this is the time to get them booked, because prices are going up. Now, the piece de la resistance. I love to talk about Perfect Day at Coco Cay. Now, I will tell you all, you probably have heard about our little island that we spent actually about $300 million on to renovate and upgrade. And I am incredibly thankful to tell you all that other than a lot of sand erosion, which we have already, from what I understand, pretty much gotten back in place, and a lot of trees and shrubs that needed a little TLC after the storm, we were not in the direct line of the hurricane. We did get hurricane force winds, and while there was no major structural damage to anything, like I said, we took a pretty good beating, but as of last Saturday, Perfect Day at Coco Cay was open for business. So we're really thankful for that. This island has been game-changing for us. What it's done is it's created, in a time of a lot of over-tourism and ports of call that feel overrun by too many guests, we can control and craft the experience that your clients have on Perfect Day. And we have thrills and chills available to those clients. And you can see kind of shown in the blue shades are our chill areas on the island, and in the magenta or pink shades, the thrill areas. Shanae, what are you? Are you a thrill or a chill kind of gal?
Oh, you know that I'm definitely a thrill girl.
I love it. I love it. Shanae and I, about, 2 months ago, I think it was, we were on the ship, and we were running around, and we were running from water slide to water slide, and it was the most fun I think I can recall having in such a very long time. But at the end of the day, if the truth be said, I like a little thrill to start with, and then I want to chill. And here are just a few of the areas you can chill at. When you see a little dollar sign, that means there will be an upcharge or a forcharge experience. And Cocoa Beach Club, which is due to open in December, will actually be a forcharge area. Those are overwater cabanas. They are not constructed yet, but they are being constructed as we speak. No damage, again, with the storms. And they are the only overwater cabanas that are available in the Bahamas. And we'll have South Beach that will open up later this fall. And Chill Island is currently available, as is the Oasis Lagoon pool. And this pool is so big, It has a DJ that spins records under what you can kind of see as the tiki hut toward the back of the image. It has a walk-up area where you can actually walk up to the bar and sit without being in the pool, or you can actually sit in the bar area in the pool without even getting out. There's no limit on the deck chairs, the umbrellas. I will tell you, you will find a seat and you will have a place you can enjoy Oasis Lagoon if that's where you choose to plot yourself, with many choices to sit and relax. Now, the thrills don't end on Coco Cay. And we have the Thrill Water Park where there is a charge. The full day passes are available on Cruise Planner. There's the wave pool, which is so much fun. And our fabulous leader, Miss Vicki Freed, it was great to see her enjoying the wave pool. I was there in the wave pool with her and we had a ball. Splashaway Bay is great for the kids. The zip line is a ton of fun because you can actually have a water landing or a land landing. It's your choice. Up and away is the helium balloon. It is a tethered balloon that goes 450 feet into the air. The views all around the island are amazing. And when I was up in that balloon, I could actually see stingrays swimming around the island. I could see sharks. Now, don't panic, anyone. They weren't swimming where the guests were, but you can actually see in the Bahamas, it's a natural shark area, but not, again, not to be concerned for our guests. But you could see them swimming. The water's so clear and so beautiful. Absolutely amazing and beautiful views of the island itself. Captain Jill's Galleon is super fun for the kids and just so many things to enjoy. It doesn't stop there. Daredevil's Peak, I've done it. Shanae, have you done it?
I've done it multiple times.
It's the largest water slide in North America, and it is something. You better wear a bathing suit that stays on. That's all I can tell you, because it is a crazy landing when you come in. But the adventure pool is a lot of fun as well for the kids. There is the Splash Speedway, the Green Mamba, the wave pool, which we showed in the other slide, and I love the slingshot. You can sit, usually it's about 4 people max, and you ride in this raft down the water slide, and I will tell you, when you fly up that wall on the sling, it is a feeling where your tummy drops, and it's so much fun. And my presentation is taking its good old time to shift to the next slide, which is a reminder that Perfect Day at Coco Cay has been so popular that we actually have retooled some of our itineraries. And we actually have a number of itineraries that will have overnights in Coco Cay, and we will actually do late night visits as well. We're testing all sorts of ways in which we can take advantage of staying on the island longer, because your clients and our guests, they love it and they don't want to leave. So really, really great things. Again, that deployment guide that I mentioned, we'll call all of that out for you. So just don't worry about the notes, just go to Loyalty Always. Now, speaking of technology and enhancements, I'm really excited because the Royal Caribbean app has come such a long way in such a short time. And this Royal app, first of all, you really need to encourage your clients to download the app, because I'll tell you, I know we're used to printing our clients' documents and doing a lot of the online check-ins and things for our clients, and it doesn't take you out of the loop. You can sit with them in your office or walk them through it on the phone, but this app, just like any personal app you have on your phone, it's something that will bring them a lot of value and information beyond just getting them on board in minutes versus, you know, what could be potentially a short line. And it also provides them information throughout the cruise experience. So the Royal app needs to be downloaded. You can have an Android or iPhone phone. It's got a cruise planner on it. You can make your reservations on it. They all show up in there. It's mobile check-in and expedited arrivals when you arrive now, because you've electronically uploaded your passport information, and always have them scan their passport information in, because that's key. When you disembark the ship, you literally walk up to what is an iPad on a stand. It does facial recognition. It already knows who you are because you've uploaded your information, and you literally walk past it. That's it. So it's really fabulous, the technology aspect of it and the ease of boarding and disembarking the ship. And then even your onboard account, you can track your spending. So really, really great enhancements there. And drum roll, please. Look at all the ships that have all the different functionality. And this program is really just about 2.5 years old, Shanae.
Yeah.
And we have come leaps and bounds. And I know we have friendly competition out there that are boasting different technology ways of using their technology. But for us, it's right on your phone, that you never usually leave your home. your stateroom or anywhere else without, and it's all right there at your fingertips. So great technology. Please encourage your clients to use it and embrace it because it is really game-changing for their experience. Now, I love, love, love the recent changes we made to the onboard booking program. We call it our Next Cruise program, and you book now or you book later. And we used to say that if you didn't make the commitment while you were sailing, that you pretty much lost the meat of the offer, but not anymore. Now you can choose to book on board if you know your ship and sail date. That's great. You get a reduced deposit of only $100, which is awesome, and you can receive up to $600 onboard credit or $600 in a discount off your cruise fare. You get to pick. And I love this because it's a really solid program, and the higher you buy, the more you get. But what I absolutely think is brilliant about the change is you can take up to 2 months. If you book later, you make a $200 deposit. It's a little bit more of a deposit. You get the same discount, the $600 off or the $600 OBC, and you have to go back or tell your clients they have to come back and see you, the agent of record, because that booking stays with you. That credit that they deposited, that stateroom deposit, stays with the agent of record. So you, the person that put them on the ship in the first place, you have to close that deal, but you only have 2 months. 2 months sounds like a long time, but it's not. So it's a great program, but I need you now to be out there promoting this and selling this even more aggressively. I need y'all to be calling it out to your clients and reminding them of the opportunity that they have before they sail, and that you'll take care of booking them when they get back. They always say, we don't know if Aunt Lucy can come with us. We don't know if our kids have break on this week or that week. We need to go back and check our calendars. All that's easily done with the book later process. So really great change. Just introduced it a couple of months ago. Very well received, but you have a very important role in the success of this program. Now, this is a great time. We're actually getting fairly close now to the holidays. And if you haven't made your plans already or had your clients make their plans, it's going to get harder and harder to get the airlift, and it's going to get harder and harder to get those pre and post hotels. But I will tell you, sailing for the holidays on board our ships is an absolutely spectacular experience. I've done it, and I will tell you, there's Christmas trees, there's Christmas parades, there's millions of things for the kids to do, all oriented around Christmas. Santa comes. We celebrate other religious interests, if you will. So we celebrate Hanukkah as well. And I will tell you, it's such a fun way to do the holidays. And I don't know about y'all, but I've been traveling the last couple of holidays, and a lot of them on the Royal Caribbean ships, and I don't miss dragging out that Christmas tree and decorations and putting them all away afterwards. So it's a really, really fun experience, whether it's the holidays for Christmas, Hanukkah, or even New Year's Eve, which we'll see shown here. Super, super fun. And New Year's has great celebrations. They have a countdown, they have a ball drop, and fun casual parties, or if you want to get all dressed up, that choice is yours. So really for the holidays, if your clients have ever thought about it, really encourage them to give it a shot. It's something that I believe once they try once, they'll come back again and again for. Now, Royal Caribbean University. I know you all can't talk back to me right now, but I would love to see a show of hands of how many people have graduated, because it just turned to, and both Shanae and I worked really hard on Royal Caribbean University when we were both in our former roles on the training team. And it's a great resource. It follows you from your tablet to your phone to your desktop. And it's great modular, quick learning bursts, lots of video content, 2 years old with all sorts of new enhancements, even now a leaderboard for those that are engaged. And if you haven't graduated from Royal Caribbean University, you need to do so today. Agree?
Agree.
Loyal to you always. Well, we talked a lot about it earlier in the presentation, and I'm going to promise you this is an area, if you're not using every single day and you haven't bookmarked as a favorite, you need to do it really right after we end this presentation. Great resources. All the information that we break with on this site, and no password protection, so easy access, and just really, we create wonderful tools for you all to be successful. But if you all aren't leveraging those and aren't using those tools, then it's really all for none. And we really encourage you to use this as your #1 resource for what we hope is your #1 cruise line. Now, speaking of #1, You know, Vicki is near to dear and to all of our hearts. And if you're not getting Vicki's tips, you can easily do so. It shows you here where you can sign up on Loyal to You Always. And great stories of success, great words of encouragement, and great ways to think about your business can be found. She has celebrated 5 years and counting, and really great resource. At the end of the day, this really is all about thanking you, because the awards that we receive don't come because we do a good job. It's because you believe in us, and you believe we're doing a good job, and you believe we are the best cruise line entertainment. You believe we give the best cruise experience in the Caribbean, which, by the way, we thank you and we believe that too. Best cruise line overall, best cruise ship, new cruise ship Harmony, and that was, you were kind of like almost like a year behind in these ratings, so hopefully Symphony will make it there this year. But at the end of the day, the one that I really believe is so heartfelt and meaningful, and that we are thankful for, is that best sales and service, because we believe in you as our true partners. We know at Royal Caribbean we cannot do it without you, our loyal travel advisor. We are committed to ASTA. We are committed to the partnership, and I'm excited to tell you how we're putting our skin in the game to show you that, with not just talking the talk, but walking it with these coupons. But I really, before I just kind of talk about that, I just want to give you a genuine, heartfelt thank you, because it's hard out there. The hurricanes come, things like Cuba change overnight, and you have lots of choices and lots of things you have to manage on behalf of your clients. And we, the cruise line, we ask a lot of you. But I just want you to know, at Royal Caribbean, all that we're asking and all that we need from you does not go without a great amount of appreciation. So thank you from me, thank you from Shanae, thank you from Vicki Freed and the entire sales organization. We simply cannot do it without you. We love you and we appreciate you. So Kara, I think this might be a good time for us to talk about the ASTA exclusive member advantage benefit.
I would definitely agree with you, Lori.
All right. So what happened is Vicki Freed at the ASTA Global Convention announced that we now will be offering an exclusive one-time use bonus commission for 6-night and longer cruises, which is a $50 bonus commission, or a 3- to 5-night cruise, a $25 bonus commission. Now, there are some terms and conditions on these, and you can actually locate those if you go into Cruising Power or redeem them through Cruising Power. But Kara, can you tell me exactly where on ASTA? Isn't it in the promo deals or promo area that they can find the link?
We have our Member Advantage program. So if they go to our About ASTA and our Member Advantage program link, then as long as you are an ASTA active member, you will have access to see all of our special member restricted offers that we have, which is where this offer is currently listed. So that is, again, the Member Advantage program.
There you go. And I love it. And remember, it's really a one-time use. So I know that sometimes people get excited and they want to try to use them on multiple occasions. We will be managing that. But it's a great way to build your business. And it's just an extra special thank you that you can layer on top of all the other great promotions and great incentives that we have. So Kara, I know I talked a lot. Hopefully everybody could come up for air and catch their breath. Shanae is here exhausted. I think she needs a nap after this one. But are there any questions that we can answer?
It looks like your presentation answered most of the questions that we have, but it does look like we have somebody wondering if there is anything on the itinerary for Hawaii 2021.
I'm sure Shanae and I are looking at each other, and I know we had a handful of sailings this year. There might be a repositioning, but Shanae's trying to look that up right now. So if there's any other questions, if it would just be a repositioning. And while we're looking it up, if you look at that deployment sheet, which I should have had in front of me, I was busy showing you where to find it, but I don't have it printed and right handy in front of me. And shoot, I don't have a 2020 brochure in my arm's reach right now. But Shanae's looking.
Well, it actually looks like they're looking for 2021, so this might be too far out.
It might be. I think some of the deployment is going to soon to be announced. Actually, some of our longer things will start in about another month or two, and we will try to have most of our, if not all of our 21 deployment out by, I would say, November. So be watching, because remember Loyal 2 Hours that we just mentioned? That is where we post things first and foremost. So when new deployment comes, We actually even post the schedule of when we'll release that information. Oh, Shanae.
So there is one repositioning. It's a 19-night Australia to Hawaii, Sydney on the Serenade of the Seas, and that's in winter of 2021. And that's on the deployment summary guide right now.
Perfect. So there you go. One sailing.
Perfect,
And there are
Lori,
some,
thank you.
There are some Hawaii repositionings in 2020 as well.
Fantastic. All right.
Thank you,
Perfect.
Shanae. And ladies, it looks like all of the rest of our questions were probably answered during the presentation or can be found if you want to go ahead and scroll back to where you showed us that the itineraries can be located. I know that you have that web page for us, and I think that would help you.
Yep, I can show you right now. See, right here, this loyaltoualways.com. This is where you can find current offers, product updates, marketing tools, and even deployment. So that is the key.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Lori, for the amazing presentation. I think that all of our questions are pretty much one-offs that can be answered directly by going to Loyal to You Always. With that said, Lori, thank you so much for speaking a little bit about our amazing Member Advantage program offer that we have. Everyone, this is currently available on ASTA.org, again, underneath our Member Advantage program tab. And I am very excited to announce our winner for today's $100 gift card that ASTA will be giving away for our lucky webinar attendee, and that is going to be Miss Rosalie Manuel. Ms. Rosalie Manuel, I will be contacting you just as soon as we hang up on this call. You can look for an email from me at kara@asta.org. But again, thank you to everyone for joining us for today's presentation. Lori, we are so grateful to have had another amazing webinar with Royal Caribbean. This will conclude our presentation for today.
Thank you so much, everybody. Good selling.
Bye, Lori. Thank you. Bye, Shanae.